got my glasses from Optical. I get, we're all going to share. Hi, Chris. You know what? Everybody needs a PVC uh, leather hat. It looks like leather, but it's PVC. Keeps your head nice and dry. Well, anyway, my glasses fell apart, and every other year I get vision protection. It costs me. So I go down to the eyeglass place, and I find I asked them if they can repair my glasses that fell apart, and they said you haven't been here in a year, and you have to see. Hi there. You know what? I have your bio there, Randy. I will introduce you in a minute. Everybody's going to be here, so let's let me introduce you when everybody gets here. All right. So what happens is that they told me that in order to replace my glasses, I had to make another vision appointment and get my eyes tested. Hi, Jane. I said, how much is that going to cost? Because my vision insurance will start next year. They said, oh, it'll be with the glasses and the exam, and because you do the progressives there, it'll be $400. So I go home, right? My best friend's a Jewish guy. I love him, and he tells me, get on Zenny Optical, and I have for years there. So I got these glasses. They're progressives. I used my updated 1-year-old. Let me turn prescription there with the coupon. $60. $60. And notice the last ones you saw me wearing, that they were all scratched up. You could they created a glare. $60. Zenni, Zenni Optical. All you have to do is put in your prescription, pick out your lenses, measure. Anyway, if you, all right, Chris, why can't you see everybody? What do you mean you can't see? Jane's here, Randy's here. People are slowly. Let's see, where's Karen? I don't know. Sharia is on Facebook there. So I'm going to introduce Randy's bio. I almost gave up on you, Randy. All right. And I'm going to tell you all about Randy. He's joining us today. And he is the founder of MS, Must Stop MS. And he was diagnosed in November of 2012. He had a numb tailbone and throughout his whole body. And he has made it his mission to spread MS and try to do anything to prevent others from suffering. I think. Hi, Diana. All right. All right, just 1 minute, Chris. I can't troubleshoot and do the show. I can, but if you can't see everybody else there, it's your live chat settings there. What we can do is, all right, good. All right, he first was on Facebook. Randy, which you see here on YouTube, it's Must Stop MS, and let me see. He first started on Facebook, then he did Twitter than Instagram. You're better than me because I I couldn't figure out any of that Instagram and I started Twitter there. Let's see. So he's doing basically what I'm doing there, but what he does is instead of um, going live and bringing y'all together this way, he has a show that is Monday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's called Tweet Chat. So you guys love to chat, and that's what normally we chat. Hi, Hector. We chat, and I read that too. But if you just like to chat and you're a night out, 7 o'clock's okay with you. Go on Twitter. Uh, he is his only Randy's only medication is Gilenia, and Gilenia is a huge medication. It's just it works great. Now, what happens with those of us who have MS? They're relaxing, remitting MS. Hi, Jam. We tend to quit taking medication or tell our neurologist our meds aren't working. Real quick, Randy, and I'll get back to that. Randy, please post where people can attend your chat. All right, so I can read that for YouTube, so they know where to go and they can write it down. So everybody, pull out a piece of paper and a pencil. So on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna have daylight savings time coming up. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, bets are up. Actually, it can happen. So please play second. All right. So what happens with people with secondary progressive MS? We we're used to treating relapsing remitting. We take medications to prevent uh, the disease from causing inflammation and attacking the myelin and causing little scars and not doing very well there. And I'll tell you, you're not doing very well, and it causes these scars, and you have these symptoms, and they do the Solumedrol to reduce the symptoms there. But what happens is 10 to 20 years after you had those symptoms, that exposed nerve there. Let me see that exposed nerve. All right, last time I ruined a pen doing this here. All right, the exposed nerve breaks, right? So this is the nerve, and all right, I ruined another pen. That's all right there. Church gives. That's terrible. Everybody's all right. So anyway, so what happens is that it breaks. The nerve breaks and it doesn't work as well. And we see it. We feel like we're getting worse. So we tell our doctor this medication's not working for us anymore, and we go off of it, and we have a terrible attack, and that's just not good. The progression of MS is first you have relapsing remitting. I know. Chris is laughing at me with breaking another pen. So, all right, the progression of MS. You get diagnosed with MS, you have relapsing remitting. It is so important to protect our pens and our nerves there so they don't break, right? So all right. Don't you dare laugh at my ataxia. All right, so it's that nerve's inside there, and it's got little holes. See, little holes there, and it's so important we protect a medication will prevent these holes from happening, right? Hopefully, if you go to msfrontiers.org, you'll see the list of medications in the order of effectiveness. They are so what you want to do when you first get MS is protect your nerves, protect the inflammation, eat right, uh, uh, exercise. You want to do all these things to protect yourself. The second thing is that as you have MS for 15 to 20 years, uh, if this has been protected, then and you have not uh, uh, done anything to encourage the inflammation in your body, you might be in a good position where you don't get worse. Uh, if you're like me, you have an active aggressive MS, right? Hi Tracy, hi Chris. So if you are like me, and what happens is you go to the doctor, I've had tons of attacks. I actually had 6 attacks in 1 year in 1997, 98, some. So if you had that, and now all of a sudden you have these little breaks in myelin, all right, you have these breaks there, and what happens is that after 20 years, that nerve breaks. All right, that nerve breaks. All right, let's see, me and my visual side effect. I'm visual, right? So it breaks there. So what do we need and this is true with primary progressive, secondary progressive, the medications we take prevent damage to that myelin that is going to cause, or to the nerve that's going to cause permanent disability in the future. What do we need? We need nerve generation. And now I'm studying research on nerve generation and regeneration. Let me tell you something. This is huge. This is huge there. Just today, it was, I think, University of Minnesota, two different research hospitals worked together, and they found a molecule inside people with Lou Gehrig's disease, MS. They found something that regenerates nerves there, and that's huge. That's huge. That means all hope is not lost. That's huge. So I just posted that article in MS Frontiers on Facebook. MS Frontiers, secondary progressive, primary, MS Frontiers, primary progressive, and multiple sclerosis. Hi, Paul. Medical support. So if you're not on Facebook and you want to see those articles, hi Gina. Gina's in the house. Go to msfrontiers.org and subscribe to those channels. By the way, MS Frontiers, I am the administrator of the medical support one. It is. It is. We have been getting people all over the world who don't have MS that are trying to join because there's there's restrictions on people joining because people with MS were the biggest victims because we put a second mortgage on our house to cure ourselves. So I need you to know that you are protected. It's a private. It's not a private. It's a private group. So people who are in MS Frontiers, multiple sclerosis Frontiers medical support are it's private. Nobody can see your posts except for people in that group, and I don't let, again, nobody's allowed to be in that group unless uh, um, they have MS, and I check out. You better be in a bunch of groups. You better have in order to be in that group, you better have something on your Facebook page that shows that you want more. That's not your first group. Uh, Let me see. It is humongous. All right. So where was I going with that? All right, back to Randy. Randy is. All right, I'm going to tell you there. He has a weekly chat. Is named Pound Chat MS. It's Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Twitter. So if you go on Twitter and you do pound chat MS, you will also, he has a private Facebook group, and via Instagram, it is at must underscore stop underscore MS. Yeah, but you can put, go ahead, Randy, post the Facebook link there, because again, you know what, it's huge that when people with MS, they have different forums, they have different support groups, they have different ways to inspire themselves. If they look at other people with MS, other videos as competition, there you're not. It's not godly, and it's huge to realize that we're all in this boat together. What is fantastic, if you're watching this, there I'm back to writing my book, and I've decided that I'm going to strip. Uh, it's not about how to deal with MS, because I don't know how to deal with MS any better than you do. We all help each other uh, deal with MS, there, and we all are. Mary Pettigrew, who founded MS Pals, there, she is wonderful. And I talked to her on the phone, and I talked to a number of people on the phone, and I laugh, I haven't, somebody called me because I'm easy to get a hold of if you're desperate. Somebody called me, and I talked to him, I picked up the phone, and it was my home phone, and they actually said, "Oh my God, I'm talking to Dulci Hill. I'm really talking to you." I had to laugh. I was thinking, who am I? Who am I? What can I do to help you? It's I'm nobody. I'm nobody. If it weren't for the fact that we all need support, we all need to be held up. We have to. What is my favorite? My favorite thing right now is that we can't look outside of ourselves to comfort us. We can't look at what's really important until we come to the end of ourselves, until we've tried all of our first. We've been intoxicated. We bought something too expensive and it didn't do it for us. And that's what this book really that I'm working on is about. It has nothing to do with MS, because MS is just not. Uh, uh, it's something. Thank God we have, because that allows us to come to the end of ourselves. I don't need and look outside of us. It's our first end quickly, and thank you. You know what? Our our first come, our first, let me think, our first time experience of everything come to an end quickly when we have multiple sclerosis. And in a lot of ways, people with MS are a lot more fortunate than people without MS because, we come to the end of ourselves quicker. I'll give you an example. That is my scooter to reserve energy when I go to the pool. When I stopped being able to do the elliptical trainer for an hour, right, I would do it for half an hour. When I stopped having the energy to do the elliptical trainer, my knee stopped bending, so I couldn't do the treadmill. What happened? I came to the end of myself. I came to the end of that first. Can't do that anymore. And I started swimming. So I can swim every other day, same as Diane. So there is no BS in life. It's true. Gina is sharing. And I think about that. I think about that. Think about you buying your first new car. If you've ever bought a new car and you got that new car smell and it's so great. Well, let me tell you something. Uh, uh, yeah, you will never buy a new car again and have that feeling of your first new car. You will never fall in love the first time again. You will never get drunk and have it that exciting again. Same thing. That's why people get addicted to drugs, right? They try drugs and it does it for them right then, but the next time they do it, they never get comfort, right? People chase pain. And Diana, you said it's hard to die to oneself, and that's just it. You have to come to the end of yourself. You have to try everything and then try it again and realize, that's yeah, that doesn't work for me. What is the definition of insanity? People make the same mistakes over and over again, expecting different outcomes. And it is so wonderful that we are blessed to have MS to sit back and say, "Well, that's not working for me." I think a lot of that. Yeah, I've had bladder difficulties because my medication's not working anymore, right? Well, what do I like to say? That is my fault. If I have an accident, it's my fault. Why is it my fault? Because I haven't called the urologist, neurourologist. I haven't worn the appropriate undergarments until I can get medication that works, right? I haven't behavior modified. I haven't tried to go to the bathroom before I do a video or before. It's if you stop looking at blaming other people for your own difficulties, you start getting control. Are you a victim or are you a volunteer? So far as March, that I broke my rib and I broke my hand falling. Why did I? All right, why I break my rib? I fell back. There was in the bathroom. There was two things that were poking out of the wall that hold the toilet paper thing. I fell into that. All right, where was I to blame? Where can I look at that? I stood up and I knew I was dizzy. I get these spells of dizziness there. I stood up and I started walking before I had my feet underneath me and I found these things poked out and they went into I love it. You always say that. Gravity wins. So I had to ask myself when I stand up, when I studied Buddhism. Hi, Rob. When I study Buddhism, there, and this is before I became a born again Christian. Hi, John. One of the great things Siddhartha or Buddha was always in being a Buddhist is if you stay in the moment, you do everything with purpose. And then I read a book. It was called Living Christ, Living Buddha, and it was how Jesus and Buddha had a lot of similar philosophies. So you have to, instead of looking to blame others, figure out what exactly we did wrong. In London, Rob, I thank you. Uh, in London, uh, there was an article that was published. It was an editor. It was a news magazine, and the editor published something that says, calling out to everybody, what is wrong with society? What is wrong with our world? What is the problem? Uh, Well, all right. I've got, they're sharing stories about the first time they got drunk. But what is wrong with the world? It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's the poor, it's the rich, it's the Christians, it's the Muslims, it's the who so he invited everybody to write in and say what's wrong with the world. And a famous poet wrote in, he said, Dear Mr. Editor, the problem with this world is me. The problem starts with me. I am the problem with this world, right? So what is, and it goes to another cartoon that I had read that said a guy was praying. He says, "Dear Lord, what if you are so hi, Christy? If you're a good God, then why do you let these terrible things happen? Why do you let these terrible things happen?" And the cartoonist, God comes out of the sky and he looks at the guy who's praying. He says, well, what makes you think I'm letting these terrible things happen? You're letting these terrible things. I made you. I made you to love each other and to, and I think it's so huge when you are a Christian, devout Christian, to allow yourself to be corrected. I love I love it when people hold me accountable to the Bible, the Constitution, that kind of stuff. I like that because I like to see where I'm a hypocrite. I like to see that. My husband, when I fall and I fell, he got mad. I'm like a sweet husband that doesn't get mad when you fall, but he gets mad when I fall because he doesn't think I'm being careful, and he's right. So when I fell and I broke my hand because I tripped on a rug, I in my hand the brakes were closed brakes. My hand got caught in that. So I gotta say, how much was yeah, he's like, what did you do? Yeah, it's true. And as much as I'm thinking you, hi, Patty, you're here, Patty. Patty's here. Hi, Nikki. Uh, um, so much of that is well, if the carpet wasn't there, if maybe I had to sue the Walker Company for having closed brakes. How are we programmed to say, who is to blame outside of me, right? Who is, give me a drink. I fell. I need a drink. I need alcohol. I need something. to I need something, but I gotta tell you, uh, if we can pause, and I'm laying there with a hand, and I know it's broken. You know, because it just I always know when something's a little bit more serious. If I can lay there for a minute and think, what did I do wrong? The Buddhists say do everything mindfully. So when you stand up or when you go to take a walk, make sure your brakes are off, make sure you take a step instead of looking outside. You know, when I get uh, when my sweet husband gets mad at me because I have fallen, it's actually love. He's mad at me because he doesn't want to see me get hurt. He's like, "What have you done?" He, and he's right there. Okay, so Sharia asked for prayers for her brother who is back in the hospital with fluid in his lungs again. There, so I'll say that there. So anyway, Sharia, it's good to go on to Christian. In fact, there's a group on Facebook. It's called Christians with MS there. So, and they're huge at praying for everybody with specific needs there. So, yeah, again, MS Live here is, yeah, I'm called to host this because I asked God to use me to spread the love. But again, we minister. This ministry is for people who are Jewish, people who are Muslim, people who are Democrat, people who are Republican, people for who are rich and poor, and people who go to Zenny Optical for glasses there, for $400 glasses for $60, and people who can afford the $400 glasses. Again, Rob, to answer your question, that is my grandfather. He was cavalry in World War II. Uh, uh, I've got I've got a number of pictures there. So World War II, he was under MacArthur in North Africa, and he came up and anyway. Uh, but that's enough. That's Grandpa Recky there. He was a New Jersey Cavalry National Guard, that kind of stuff. I wanted to know who was the guy in the yeah. That's what it's not Randy. Rob wanted to know the guy. So in uniform, that's Grandpa Repke there. I love my grandpa. He was a hard ass father there. So apparently there's some people in your life that's only meant to be grandparents, and it's a little rough on his son, raising his son, but he's a great grandfather. I love my grandpa there, and I have my grandma on the other wall there, my father's parents. Let's see. All right, so also they're talking about first time they got drunk and not being able to touch the alcohol that they first got drunk with, and it's true. How I remember I got drunk on gin. I don't drink gin, and then yeah, it's bad. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. All I got to say is that. Uh, you can only reflect on what doesn't work for you anymore. What isn't new and shiny and feel great. Uh, uh, you can only do that when you come to the end of yourself. When, it's like, I because I have had MS for 37 years, uh, I have to ask myself when when the nerves break and I can't do something like I used to. My husband, I asked my husband yesterday, I said, have I gotten worse in the past 6 months? And he said, yeah, yes, you have. And I asked him, uh, uh, I asked him, I said, how have I gotten worse? And he says, your energy and your balance. So then I started thinking, what am I doing? I haven't done the vibrating. I haven't, you know, where am I to blame? Not and if I exercise, I got to tell you, there was a sermon that I jump around to three different churches that I attend, and two are local, my local churches, and one is I used to. It was my local church when I lived in Southern California. Um, and it was the second church I jumped over, and he said, let me see. Oh, it's on there. He Joey, love Joey. Joey said that habits are established for those who don't have the enthusiasm to do things. So, and that's so huge, right? Habits. So before I like to set things down without looking, right? And I drop things and I spill things. I like doing it. I like doing that. I love to set things down without looking where they are. And that's not smart. Hi, Phil. So when I break things, and I break lots of stuff, when I start doing things, instead of blaming, darn it, this pen, this glass of water, I need unbreakable cups. I need, they made that glass faulty because it breaks easy when I drop it. Why am I blaming the glass? Why am I blaming the things I drop? When the fact is that I haven't established a habit to be more careful. Right, my rib broke because I got up and I started walking without making sure that I had my brain, my head was over my body. Diane, you will laugh. I went last Monday into the pool. Not this. Let me think. No, last Friday I went into the pool. So I get to the end. There was only one lap. I get to the end. I get down to the pool. I'm about to jump in, and guess what? I don't have my snorkel. I don't have my goggles. I don't have anything. So I had the lifeguard, Hannah. Love her. Everybody kind of looks at me like, what's wrong with Dulci? I forgot my neoprene. Everything. I forgot everything. It's like, all I could think of is, I'm going to swim. Everything. I forgot everything. And sorry. So I forgot everything. So the lifeguard went and got everything, brought it over, and she did like 3 trips. Now she's watching 2 big lap pools, and meanwhile she's taking care of me. So whose fault is it? Is it? Imagine if I'm at the end of the pool. I've got my scooter. I'm about to get in. I don't have any of my stuff, and I'm there. And imagine a lifeguard stays there watching both pools. Do I get mad at the lifeguard? Bet she is not bringing me my stuff. And do I get mad at her, or do I get on my scooter and do the it's not her fault. Where am I wrong? Where am I? living in the moment. Before I get to my lane, I have to make sure that I have everything with me, right? Uh, uh, it's before, all right. There's a bottle of wine, and it's called 13 Crimes. It's very good. It's a Shiraz, and I love it, right? So I get a glass, and I start pouring the wine, and I got to ask before I pour myself the wine, it's to what end? Am I drinking it because I like the taste? And if so, why don't I just do a little shot glass? Or am I drinking it to get a little intoxicated? Then I fill it all the way. To what end? To what end? Um, I've got a numb cerebral cortex, right? So why am I gonna drink a cup of vodka tonics? Why am I gonna numb that cerebral cortex even further? Because what happens when you numb it? You get dizzy, you get, let's say, incontinent. What happens when you get really, really drunk? Say, what happens? Isn't it, doesn't it, it's like you have MS, right? You can't see straight, you're kind of dizzy, you get the spins. Well, anybody who has gotten drunk, there you've made yourself have MS. So you got to ask yourself, to what end? So you have MS and you're sitting there, you got a bottle and you're like, all right, I broke my rib, I broke my hand. Life sucks. I need a drink. You don't need a drink. You need to assume responsibility. I need to assume what made me fall. Am I a victim or am I a volunteer? Am I blaming my husband? Last night, I made myself the leftover, the rest of the meatballs. So I made myself a meatball sandwich, and I left the container there on the yeah, I left it on the kitchen sink, or not the sink, on the counter. And I went and I sat at the table and I'm eating my sub, and he comes in and he's like, aren't you going to clean up the kitchen? I said, Dad, no, I'm going to eat my dinner. If you want to clean up the kitchen, that's on you. Otherwise, I'm going to clean up the kitchen when I'm ready, and not before I eat my dinner. But it's boundaries. It's boundaries. But and I have a video that talks about boundaries. And the first boundary is to protect ourselves from other people. When he said, aren't you going to clean up the kitchen? Right? The boundary I had is, I'm going to eat dinner first. There, am I? Because he ate separate. Do I jump up and clean up the kitchen because it makes him happy? No, you know what? I'm gonna eat dinner first, right? Second boundary is to protect him from me. Uh, why don't you clean up the kitchen yourself? It's like, you, but I say if you don't like it, you're welcome to clean up the kitchen. If not, I'll clean up the kitchen when I'm done eating. It's good to. And the third is, hi Susan. Susan's in the house. Anyway, love you. And the third boundary is boundaries to protect ourselves from ourselves. Uh, you have the bottle of wine, have beer, have vodka, have everything. Standing up and uh, taking a step, putting a glass or putting something down without looking at it. It's boundaries. You know, am I a child? Well, thank you, Chris. Why am I letting myself get away with this carelessness? there. Susan's having problems. Again, Susan, we can talk. Hi, David. We'll talk and we can troubleshoot. Uh, uh, what you should do is go to YouTube and look at your live chat options. Jane, Jane, in fact, Jane's pretty smart. Jane, if you could email Susan or text Susan, hell, she is having a problem. So maybe you guys can work to reestablish her so she can participate in live chat there. Uh, there, there. So you've got to figure out, where I think of all the things that happened in my life, and being a victim is a choice. Is but again, coming to the end of yourself, looking and saying, uh, all right, but looking at yourself, looking at the things that you used to do. It's not the treadmill's fault that I can't walk purposefully up the treadmill. It's not that the fault, and it's not the lifeguard's fault or the neoprene or it's not the snorkel's fault that I forgot it on the table over there when I go swimming. It is it's my fault. And if I can look inside, the Bible says, how can you look at the speck of dust in somebody else's eye when you've got a log in your own? And I think about the guy who wrote in to the newspaper editor in London. He says, the problem with this world, the problem is me. I'm the problem with the world. I'm the problem with MS. There, everything is an opportunity to rise above it, and just because I physically, I swam a half mile and it was wonderful. It was cold yesterday too, but the wind wasn't blowing. The water was nice and warm, and I got to tell you, it was wonderful. And hi, Natalie. Um, Susan, have you seen my boundaries video on YouTube? I just all you have to do is hit Dulci Hill in Google Chat or DuckDuckGo, anything. Dulci Hill and boundaries. The word boundaries. If you can do that, there it'll tell you about the boundaries. That's an exercise that I'm gonna have in this little maybe pamphlet. I should just get it out there. Uh, uh, yeah, you know what? But I remember, Chris, when I was let's see, it was my 30th birthday. Um, yeah, it's true. So when you add, let me see. On my 30th birthday, I went out with a bunch of friends and got it was let me see, and I got faced. I drank so much, and I'm walking out, and I had two friends on either side. I'm a huggy person, so what is going on here? All right, so did I kept telling people I'm not drunk, I have MS, and my girlfriend looked at me and said, "Don't you may have MS, but no, you're drunk." There, I do a half a mile every other day. and I've changed my stroke, so my rotator cuff doesn't hurt there. And I watch the grunions, I say the kids getting lessons, and the instructors teach them how to go on their side, bring their elbow up real high, and put their hand in the water. So the idea is bend your elbow and it's shallow. So up, bend, and shallow. So anyway, it's pretty fun to be able. Yeah, I wish. And Diana says she walks better after swimming. I swim so I don't have to walk. And I often think I could swim a mile. And this is when I visited my mom in Florida. I used to think, gosh, I could if I could swim a mile to buy milk and put it on my back and swim a mile back, it'd be better than walking. But the hip flexor system device. It's wonderful. Let me see here. All right. So heat. I'll talk about that, Susan. Susan said, "Does cold affect me?" And I'll say that cold. I get cold. I have to have the foot warmers in my shoes. That I have to have hand warmers. I have different things. And I have neoprene and all right, so it does affect me. It was the hi Chris, beautiful picture of your daughter, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, does it affect me? And I think it was 83, 82 degrees in the water. It was like 58 in the air yesterday when I swam. The wind wasn't blowing. And if it had been 80 degrees, I would not have worn neoprene, but I wore a long sleeve light neoprene. It was like 2.5 millimeters there, and I put that on, and I said, I'm a wimp. I'm a wimp with having to swim with that on, and the lifeguard says, uh, that was he says, no, it's not bad. So when everybody was swimming, or there's a few people because it was outside who were swimming without anything, but I swam with the neoprene on, and because I can always take it off. I'd rather take it off if I'm warm, and I'd rather err on the side of warm than on the side of cold. Uh, uh, so, all right, MS bodies work better, cool, right? In the same way that wires, nerves, wires, everything works is more conductive when it's cool, right? When it's warm, uh, it swells up. Think of warm is inflammation, and it makes holes on your nerves larger, makes and it's not very good there. So there's a delicate balance. I like to think, yeah, I like to think of us as when we have MS, we are more like reptiles, right? We all have to let's see, we have to be in 80 degrees. We have to feel like we're 80 degrees all the time. Uh, uh, we can't be hot, we can't be cold. So if yeah, it's so how do we do that? Yeah, I posted something on my Facebook page that I think you guys all get a kick out of. and that is October is my favorite month. In the morning, I put on the heat. In the late morning, I turn off the heat and I open the windows. In the late early afternoon, I close all the windows and I put on the air conditioning. And then in the late afternoon, I open the windows. I can turn off the air conditioning, and then the early evening, I close up the windows. I put the heat on. It's like, uh, yeah, but you know what? I gotta say that when you have a tight, knotted muscle there, uh, what feels better than putting a heating pad on that specific muscle? Diane was talking about the pool was cold yesterday. Yeah, but again, move any way you can. So what? Thank you, Mace. Mace gave me a time check. So what I wanted to say is that today, uh, I've got to work on using my legs. So I'm going to get my hip flexor assisted device. And if you go on YouTube and you look at capital HFAD, HFAD. If you look at that there, it enables those of us who have a hip flexor that won't lift. You can't lift your leg, right? Because that hip flexor's not working. You can't bend your knee. I can't bend my knee. It's learned how to be stiff, and I foot drop. Those three things, the HFAD will combat. So I'll pack up my walker, my real from Richard. I don't know where have you been, Richard. Anyway, I'll pack that up. I'll pack up a lunch, something to drink. I'll put on my headphones, and I'm going to walk 1 mile. And I need to do that. I need to do that. Also, I'm going to clean the kitchen. Unbelievable. I love all of you. I want you to go to msfrontiers.org. Um, Follow me if you're on YouTube and you're watching this and you want to be part of this support group. Follow me. Uh, um, and you can be in this live chat. You comment there. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and participate in the live chat. There, squats, do doorknob squats. I have my exercise video. Uh, but like all great teachers, I will tell you, do what I say, not what I do. I need you guys to beat me over the head with scripture, with hypocrisy. So hold me to task. Anything I mention, throw back at me. Anyway, I love you. May the let's see, worry about nothing, but in everything, through prayer and supplication, make your requests known to God. And let the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, keep your hearts and minds on Christ Jesus. Again, if you haven't asked Jesus into your life, the gift of salvation, the gift of it's a free gift. It is just exhausting to live without Christ because you're chasing dragons, you're chasing uh, bottles of wine, glasses of wine. You don't need to. You come to the end of yourself. It's like only when you come to the end of yourself can you look outside of yourself and what actually works, what does it for you, and the gift of salvation. You know, there is no high like the love of Christ. And if you're watching this right now, it's because I believe that God brought you here to feel the love that we have for you. I serve Christ, and that's what I do. again, if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ as your Savior, just ask Him into your life. Say, Jesus, I know I'm a sinner, but I know you're the Savior. Please come into my life and show me what it's like to be saved. Lord, you are my. I put my full trust in you. In Jesus' name, I give thanks. Amen. Uh, Again, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He shine His face upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up His countenance, His presence to you and give you His peace. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday. All right? Thursday. All right. God bless you. Bye.